So I get a lot of questions about, do freelance writers need to have contracts? What should your contract look like? What do you include in it? That kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. In terms of making your own contract, normally a client will come to you with their own contract, especially bigger companies. They'll have like their own lawyer that just writes up their standard contract that they give to all their freelancers. But if not, if you want to do your own contract, there's all kinds of templates that you can find online. Just Google freelance writer contract, and I'm sure you can find like a dozen of them. Ideally, find the one for your area. So if there's one specific to like United States or Canada or Belgium, try and find one in your jurisdiction so that it's worded specifically for you. That might be more helpful as well. But I also wanted to talk about, I guess, probably kind of an unpopular opinion, which is, do contracts really become a necessity for freelance writers? And I'd almost say no, because is your contract going to actually protect you? You can write this contract and have all these words in it, but as a freelance writer that's making like 10 grand a year when you're starting out, you probably aren't going to be able to enforce it anyways. Unfortunately, that's just how the world works. Do you really have the money or the time to go to court and try and sue your client to get the money that they owe you? Probably not. You'd rather just cut your losses and move on most of the time. If you're dealing internationally, it's even harder. If you're in the United States and you're working for a client in the UK, are you really going to have any way of getting them into a US court to take them to court? Or like, I don't think you can even do like small claims court against international companies. So I don't know how that works. Personally, I never like say we need a contractor. I'm never going to work for you. If a company wants to do a contract with me, for sure I'll sign it or whatever, but I never volunteer to do a contract if I don't have to. I just don't think there's any value there, because realistically, if you're not like a six-figure freelancer, you're not going to have the resources to take to somebody to court or to try and collect on your money that you're lost. It's going to cost you more to try and collect than to get back couple $100 for the blog posts that you've written. So I wouldn't even bother. Honestly, that's probably like an unpopular opinion. I wouldn't let clients know that you have this weakness. Obviously, they might screw you over. Ideally not. But the alternative that I do to making a contract is just starting small and building trust. So do small jobs. When I'm starting off with somebody, normally I'll invoice them after every single blog post. So there's less lost. Every blog I'm getting like $100-$200 or whatever coming in, so that I'm not left with this huge like $5,000 invoice at the end that I could get screwed on. Even better is taking prepayments. Normally, if a client isn't willing to do prepayments, that's kind of shady. So I'll even kind of like test clients by saying that I want prepayments, but then I won't actually make them do it. I just want them to agree to it. Normally, if a client is willing to agree to prepay you at least like a 50% down payment, normally they're honest enough and they'll be good for it. Luckily, I've never got burned. I've had like, I think one client that was kind of sketchy that I started working for. I sent them the blog post and they came back with all these things that were red flags, so I just like dropped it right away. Everybody else has paid me within a week pretty much. It's pretty good. So yeah, you can take prepayments, start small and build trust if you can. If you really want, you can do the contracts, but really at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to enforce them. There are some other things that you can do. I think if you can prove that it's your content, you can take down their website with Google and their host through like DMCAing them and stuff. That's kind of like a petty thing that I know some freelance writers do if they get screwed over, or they just put the content on like a devoted site that they have. They'll upload the content, so then the person that stole your content gets flagged as duplicate content, and it's pretty much useless for them anyways. But yeah, that's about it. My unpopular opinion that freelance writers don't need contracts, and it's probably never going to help you if you find yourself in a situation that you need it anyway. So I personally wouldn't bother with them, but I'm not a lawyer, so take that with a grain of salt. Do what's best for your own business. You have to decide what your own risk that you're willing to tolerate is, but that's it for now. Subscribe if you want more tips for writers and freelancing, and I will see you guys in the next video.